Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be doing like a January reading recap and kind of getting into my February TBR, but of course, as always, I'm going to start with the Kindle reads because it's just easier and I know for a fact that I won't forget them. Ari's reading journal. I got it off of the TikTok shop. I love it. But yeah, anyways, back to our scheduled program. Okay, first up is The Serpent's Sin by Catherine Ann Kingsley. This was actually an ARC read that I got. And I actually ARC read the first one, which is The Serpent's Bride, I think it was called, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. This one I would say was like 4 stars. I'll give it like 2 to 3 spice level, and it pretty much just like continues literally where book 1 ended. Like there's no break in between where book 1 ends. This one picks right back up after there. Yeah, exceeded my expectations for sure. I definitely didn't expect like that cliffhanger at the end, but it definitely made me excited for book 3. It really pissed me off, I'm not even gonna lie to you, because that was like such a big part of the story, and now we're just left hanging wondering like what happened. Like overall, like I think the sequel was done really well. Next is This Ain't Our First Rodeo by Liara Tamani. And this one I'm gonna give it like a 3.5, only because okay, so it was a super quick read. Like I think I finished it in one day or like one night. It was just I don't know. Like the characters were super adorable. I love like the text and insight that we got because I don't know anybody from Texas, so a lot of the stuff like that was happening in the book I was like learning for the first time. And it definitely added like depth into the story that I didn't know I was missing. My biggest thing was like the constant switching of point of views. It got really annoying. Like they would have like 1 or 2 pages and then switch point of views, and then 1 or 2 pages and then switch point of views, and this would be like during the same conversation. So it was like we're still like in the middle of the conversation, and then like a next chapter start with a different point of view, and it kind of just like got annoying. Like I said, 3.5 though. Like the story was definitely adorable. It was just really like that point of view switching for me. I couldn't take it anymore. Next is Lake University. And this is, so I actually didn't know that this was like a whole series, and it's like different authors all writing like a different story within the HBCU Chronicles series. But the one I read was Jan and Emily's story by A.A. Lewis. It was just okay. I don't know. It was like, I don't know if it was supposed to be more romance or drama or what, but I would say the romance did not do it for me. I didn't really see any chemistry between Jan and Emily. Like, it was just a mutual attraction between the two. So, I don't know. There was like no depth between them. Like, they didn't have any type of like real conversations or, like nothing stimulating between the two. They were just attracted to each other. Like, that was all. I would have also wanted to see more from Tree. I don't know. For him to be like the bad guy or whatever. Like, I understood Shauna's reasoning for everything. Like, that was her man. She wanted her man back, yada, yada, yada. Tree did all of this out of jealousy. Like, I feel like there could have been more to that. A lot more. I feel like his character could have been, like, I don't know, more built, I guess. Next is My Funny Valentine by Renato L. Friday. I also didn't like this one. I don't know. I gave it like 2 stars. It just wasn't for me, honestly. I don't even have like a reason that I didn't like it. It's just didn't resonate with me, and that's fine. It might be better for somebody else, but yeah. Next up is Sweet Reasons by Bailey West. And this is one of the books that I got during one of those like Stuff Your Kindle days. I don't know which one because I do so many of them. This one, I would say like 3 stars. I'm not really sure. It was like really good and sweet, but I don't know. It just like kind of fell flat for me after a while. Like I got used to the characters and everything that was happening, and like nothing really changed. There was nothing really that like stood out to make me like stay invested in the story, I guess. besides just like me wanting to finish. But yeah, I would say 3 stars. Next is Make Me Lose by Emberlay. Um, and this is just a contemporary romance. Um, and I would give this one like 3.5 stars. I will say like I actually enjoyed this book. It was a pretty like nice quick read. I think it was like 250 pages. But it did kind of fall flat after a while. And I'm not sure if that was just like me like entering a slump or if it was the book or what. Um, One thing I for sure didn't like is that Hazel and Gray had like so much chemistry apparently, like based on their like story or whatever. But we didn't really like get to see any of that. And I understand it was like a second chance, like romance, whatever. But I feel like the story would have benefited from like kind of just having like a preview of um like how their chemistry started in the past, or something like that. Like we could see their chemistry like now in the present, but I would have kind of enjoyed seeing them getting together in the past, or just like a couple flashbacks of like how they got to this point. Even like the build up from enemies to lovers was kind of just like the flip of a switch, like they were enemies and then they were having sex every chapter, and it was kind of just like, all right, how do we get here? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I also wish we could have seen more from the Daily family. I mean, I know it's a series with like all of the brothers, but I don't know. I would have liked to see something come from that, I guess. Um, I don't know. Okay. Next is My Chosen Alpha by Rianne Burnett, and this one was super super short. I want to say it was like 60 pages. Um, I liked the story, but I feel like if it was like an actual novel, it would have been amazing. Like the storyline, the plot that Rianne had, amazing. Like I don't know where she came up with the idea, but girl, I just feel like I don't know. There was a lot of like key details and like facts that could have been added to help enhance the story. And again, I'm not sure if it's just because it was 60 pages, if it would have been better if it was longer. But from my point of view, like a few more details would have made the story like perfect. We're gonna move into our physicals. Before we move into our physicals, let me show y'all like my book journal. So I'm not sure if y'all can see it in the light, but so this is like my January list of books that I read with the dates, the authors, the titles, and then they're just like formatted based on like the format that I read it on. And it looks like I read 4 hardbacks, 7 on Kindle, and then 4 paperbacks. I also have like a bingo card in here. And I've been like filling it out as I read. Look at, see that? I was so close to getting bingo, but I'm probably not reading a nonfiction book anytime soon, so no bingo for me. Starting with the first book that I read, which was Blood at the Root by Ladarian Williams. For like the first 2 weeks of January, I was in such a bad slump where everything I read, nothing stuck. Like, nothing at all. This one was sitting on my shelf, and I was like, you know what? Let me try to read that one. Like, let me dip into some YA fantasy because I haven't read that in a while, and maybe it'll pull me out of this. And it did, because this book was everything I needed and more. Like, everything I needed and more. I have no notes for Ladarian. There were so many different thoughts flying while I was reading this, and I wasn't trusting nobody. Like, everybody that he met, I was just like, no, you can't trust him. You can't trust him. You can't trust him. Like, trust nobody. The character development was insane. How Malik was from the beginning to the end. I couldn't wait to read book 2. It was so good. And then of course I have like my favorite quotes. Yeah, this book, I don't know, it felt like home. Like, that's really all I can say. It felt like I was, I don't know, in a universe with like my actual family. So I definitely enjoyed that. Of course, after reading that, I had to go and read book 2 in the series, which is Bones at the Crossroads. And there was so much to unpack in this book. There were so many, like, I don't know, like real life emotions and themes that were explored in this one that pulled so many different emotions out of me. But it was also like packed with action. Like it was way more action in book two than it was in book one. And I really enjoyed seeing like how much stronger Malik got in this one. Because he definitely got a lot stronger in this book compared to book one. It was very good. I'm very sad that I have to wait for book three actually. But yeah, it was good. I loved it, of course, if you couldn't tell. Sorry, coffee break. Um, just out of curiosity, what are y'all like go to Dunkin' orders? Cause I got a medium iced latte with, what did I get? Oat milk, 3 caramel swirls, and 3 French vanilla swirls, and cold foam. But the cold foam melted on my walk back to the house. But it's still good. It's actually very good. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, all right, let me just do that. Okay, back to business. My bad. Okay, the next book is The Referral Program by Shamara Ray. And I gotta be honest, this one did not do it for me. And then there was a lot of scene setting going on. So I kept getting like pulled out of the story because everything like had to get explained. And yeah, it got really old really fast. And then like all three of their point of views like felt very similar and identical. So it was very hard to like differentiate between whose chapter I was reading because they all were written the same way. Oh, and the sex scenes disgusted me. Like I got the ick. Not gonna lie. The wording that was used during the sex scenes gave me the ick and I was just like, ugh, no, I can't do it. I think it was only like one or two, but still, it was a hard no for me. The next book, I know I'm gonna get like a lot of hell about. It's Firebird by Juliet Cross. Um, I loved it. I absolutely loved this book. It's a dark romantasy and it's kind of set in like the Roman Empire times. Um, I loved it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like looking at the reviews. I've actually been like contemplating getting this book for a while, and the reviews always like scared me away because they were like making like they were saying that it's like a captor and captive, um, owner and slave type of romance or whatever, and I was just like, not my thing. But then I ended up winning the book in a giveaway, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm bored. Let me just see what it's about. When I first started, like, I think I read like the prologue and probably like chapters 1 through 3, and I was like, oh, this is dark. This is dark. Like, but it wasn't that dark. Obviously, it's like old Roman times, so the way they treat women is disgusting and terrible. But that's like the history part of the book. I don't know, their relationship never gave like slave and slave master to me. What it did give was fated mates. Because even like when they met in the prologue, like their connection was instant. So I don't know. But he never gave like this big, awful, terrifying like slave master that the reviews kind of gave him. At the very end, there was like the prologue or like first chapter for book two, and I'm actually very excited because I was not expecting that twist at the end, and I'm super excited to see it because it'll be Trahan's, I don't know how you say his name, but it'll be his point of view. And with the twist that happened at the end, I'm super excited to see like how things play out and like how they make this work. And then of course like my favorite quotes, I don't know, it was just given like women are supreme, and I was like, yes, I love that. I love that. Is Loved by You by Alexandria Lachelle. Um, this, I actually read this back in like 2023, 2024, one of those years. I don't know. But my book club chose this as our book of the month, and I loved it. Not gonna lie. It was definitely a slow burn, like a slow burn. But I enjoyed every second of it. I don't know. There was a lot of love, but also a lot of like grief and trauma that the characters needed to unpack. But I love like the way Alexandria like wrote it into the story. It wasn't like overwhelming. Um I loved how like mental health and therapy were discussed because a lot of people in like the black community don't really believe in that. Um, so the book like put an emphasis on that without like, you know, being like a poster ad for therapy and everything was pretty cool. This book was definitely an emotional roller coaster for me, but I'm definitely gonna keep going and reading Kelly and Khalil's story because I feel like they're just gonna have a little bit more tension, a little more, you know, oomph to it. So I'm definitely excited for that. Next up is Legendborn. Um, Y'all see like the tabs, like yikes. Once you get past like the initial world building part of the story, it takes off. Like it takes off, okay? All I can say is Brie is freaking legendary to me because she is so much stronger than I would have ever been at 16. Cause, y'all fighting demons? Baby, I can't fight my own demons. Like, I'm not coming to help you fight yours. I'm not. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I was for sure stuck between Sil and Nick. Like, they both had two sides of my heart. So, I definitely understand Bree's dilemma because I was like, oh, okay, you know, Sil gives like the dark and moody vibes, and Nick gets like the warm and like cuddly vibes. And yeah, I was like, all right, I get it. I get it, Bree. I really do. I'm actually currently reading book 2 of the series, which is Blood Marked. And I'm like 45% in through that. So I'll probably, or I'll most likely be finishing that this month too. But yeah, this was a buddy read with somebody from my book club. And yeah, this book was very dark and disturbing. And just, yeah. But I couldn't stop reading it. And I didn't not like it. So, what does that say about me? I don't know. But do with that information what you will. Yeah? Yeah. I will say, I like asked for dark romance recommendations this month. And I read Stolen Matrimony by Tay Monet. And that was like my first like true dark romance. And I was just like, oh, like it was good, but it was like so dark and disturbing, like just so much going on. And I was like, oh my god. So like compared to that, Haunting Adeline was nothing to me. A Vow and Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. I was honestly surprised that this was a debut novel. The way I was locked into this story actually needs to be studied. I don't know what Jacqueline put in here. It had to be cracked or something because I could not put the book down like at all. Yeah, sprayed edges, super cute. Rune was like such an amazing female main character. She was so strong, and I honestly just loved everything about her. Like, she was sassy, she was witty, and I loved it. Her and Draven's banter was just too cute for me. It was very enjoyable to read. I found myself like actually laughing out loud a lot. It was very entertaining. And then Draven, I loved him too. He was like very much like obsessed with Rune. But what really got me was the magic system. So I've never like really like looked into or like, you know, learned much about like the tarot card system stuff or whatever. But that's like pretty much their magic card system. There were so many different cards, and just like I don't know, it was just such an interesting magic system because I've never read a book with like a tarot card magic system, so it really like appealed to me. I definitely love how everything came together at the end. That cliffhanger I was not ready for, and the book literally just came out, so I don't even know how long I'll be waiting for book 2, which kind of hurts, but that's life, I guess. So that's all of my January reads. Yeah. But I'm very proud of myself, y'all, because all of these. Okay, wait. Not all. Most of these books were already on like my physical shelf, so I'm doing good getting this physical shelf down. That was my goal, to read more of my physicals and stop buying like more books. So I'm doing good so far. I know it's only the first month, but I'm doing good. Give me clap for me, clap for me. So let's get into this February TBR. Um, I honestly don't know what I wanted to read. Like, at first I was like, oh, okay, let's do all black romance. Oh, let's do all black fantasy. Oh, let's try to do like nonfiction only. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna just like take some books out. If I decide to read them, I read them. If not, whatever. I don't care anymore. February is my birthday month. So I was kind of just like, I don't know, I'll find something out. Like, whatever I want to read is what I'll read, honestly. So this is just like a stack of books that I took out that I was like, oh, okay, I'll probably want to read this. And I mean, I guess we'll just see how it goes from there. Okay, when Javi dumped Marie. And this is basically about two best friends who made a pact that whoever they date basically has to get vetted by the other one. I guess like they have feelings for each other, but after a while, like Marie stops waiting on Javi to admit his feelings and gets engaged to somebody else. So Javi now has like 6 weeks to, confess his love and convince Marie to not marry him. A Low Country Bride by Preslasia Williams. And this one is pretty much about a girl who has to like kind of like leave her current life and go back to help her dad after he gets a bad injury, and she ends up getting like a new position at a place like near her dad's house and falling for the owner. Okay, Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory, and this one is basically about a woman who goes on a work trip with her daughter to England and ends up falling for the queen's private secretary. And I guess like they basically have to decide if they're gonna like end their fling after the holidays or find a way to keep seeing each other. Only Because It's You by Rebecca Fiseha. This one is kind of like a marriage of convenience between two best friends. Next is The Defiant Queen by L.R. Jackson, and this one is basically a royal second chance romance with, I guess, somebody that's threatening to expose Shaya's secrets. Love Delayed by Anna Black. This one is another second chance romance for two like former college sweethearts at an airport checkout counter or airport ticket counter. Next is The Dagger in the Flame by Catherine Doyle. This one was actually recommended to me by a friend on Instagram. And I guess it's a YA enemies to lovers romantasy, but she said it's like for sure enemies to lovers to the point where they're trying to kill each other for like 80% of the book, and I love that. So yeah, it was only $10 at Barnes and Noble, and yeah, I went and got it. Next is The Lies Always Told by Amber Cordova, and it sounds like it's like a friends to lovers romance with a little bit of drama and miscommunication in between. And I actually won that book in a giveaway, so we'll see. I'm excited. Audrey and Bash Are Just Friends by Tia Williams. I'm actually very excited for this one. I've been wanting to read it for a while, but it's basically like Audrey hires Bash to be her fun consultant, and his job is kind of to help her like complete her list of like crazy wild dares that she has. And the list is supposed to like help her get ideas to write her book, but yeah, I'm super excited about it, and the cover is so pretty. Like, okay, sorry. Okay, and last but not least is Son of the Morning by the name is blocked out. By Akwaeke Emezi. Don't have another one of her books. I do. I have Pet by her. But honestly, I keep seeing this book like all over Instagram, Book Talk, everywhere. So I was like, all right. I was in Barnes and Noble the other day and I saw it and it was 50% off, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna read it because everybody says this book is just like amazing, and I'm all for a black paranormal romance. So yeah, I've been influenced basically. That's my February TBR. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna read any of these. I may read all of them, I may read none of them, I may read some. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's my birthday month, so it might not even be much reading going on, to be honest with you. I've also been working on my book, which has honestly been taking up a lot of my time. I think I started in like November, and I'm only at like 10 chapters as of now. I'm actually very excited about this process. I used to like write like little short stories on Wattpad all the time when I was in like middle school and high school, but the hubby actually like inspired me to get back into reading or back into writing. And yeah, I'm super excited. So that's been taking my time. I also have like the in-laws coming this month. I'm going to the book outlet sale for the first time this month. So yeah, February is pretty full of things going on. So I don't know how much reading we'll get to, but y'all know at the end of the month I will update y'all. But until then, love you guys.